academics. I'm just waiting for 1:30 and then I'll begin. Call the meeting to order, and it's 1:30, 1:29 to be exact. We won't take an hour, more than an hour. It should be less than that. Thank you once again for your time this afternoon. Professor, you want to ask me to share for this month's academic staff forum in place of the Quality Assurance Director. She just assumed responsibility over that division, and she needs to settle in first because she will be presenting something about quality assurance. So I thought take this opportunity to share some highlights, especially on the developments that are happening within the flexible learning module, what we are planning to do, as well as some updates on online learning. So before we begin on that, let us pray this prayer together. Let us start. Lord, I thank you for the gifts you bless me with. I commit to use them responsibly in your honor. Give me a fresh supply of strength to do my job. Anoint my projects, ideas, and energy, so that even my smallest accomplishment may bring you glory. Lord, when I am confused, guide me. When I am weary, energize me. When I am burned out, infuse me with the light of the Holy Spirit. May the work that I do and the way I do it bring faith, joy, and a smile to all that I come in contact with for the rest of this semester. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you. So as I said earlier on, today will be a rather short session, and I'll just briefly highlight what's happening within flexible learning module, what the plans are in terms of module and VUP integration, as well as what's required from your end as an academic staff teaching in the postgraduate programs. And then I'll finish off by highlighting some developments, not rather developments, but bring to light the context in which where we are in terms of online learning and what's anticipated. So for the benefit of staff, new staff, I'd like to just quickly explain this again in terms of flexible learning module and VUP. This is the current practice that's happening within our full-time module and VUP. VUP is a sort of a portal that connects to both two platforms, the learning management system, as well as the student information management system. So your progressive results for your grade, for your classes that you teach, for the units that you teach, teaching learning activities, assessment, everything is all kept within Moodle. Now, on a daily basis at certain intervals, all of that gradebook data is synced across to VUP. How is it synced across to VUP? It's based on a naming convention, a code. Every unit has a semester code. So for example, this semester, for the full-time studies, let's say for a unit IS 106, that unit will have SAM2_106, IS 106. That's how VUP picks up those grades from Moodle across. That's the current practice in full-time. Now, all those results that are kept in VUP are meant for the purpose of approvals through FCAC and AB, and of course, end of semester progressive results. The final regular transcripts are coming out from Unit 10. They are not done by the VUP. Now, one of the things we anticipate to do is to have an option for provisional transcripts. And we know that this is relevant for mostly flexible learning. So this cannot be done unless you sort out your gradebook. And that's the main reason why I'm bringing this up here. We've identified certain codes that we're going to use to do the integration, but we cannot do it because at the moment, flexible learning unit gradebooks are not in order. So when I say not in order, there are no proper categories. Assessment items are not under any categories. So once those gradebooks are sorted out, we will begin to do some tests. So at the moment, we are beginning with just one unit. I will not name the unit, but we try doing some trials Now, the nature of the flexible learning programs is different from full-time. We know that full-time is straightforward, semester 1, semester 2. With flexible learning, it's a little bit different, and they have cohorts. So what we're going to be looking at and trying to use is going by student ID, because every student has a unique student ID, and when they are on campus, they're active. When they're off campus, they're not studying, they're offline, or they're non-active or inactive. So we'll be trying to use those different codes to identify between two different students to ensure that their grades get synced from Moodle across to VUP. And then once that is successful, the next phase would be to ensure that there is a button for provisional transcripts. So in the event that a particular student needs that unofficial document for some certain purposes, they can go to their own VUP, log in, and download the provisional transcript without having to go through the hassle of communicating back and forth through emails. So that's what's happening at the moment. And we are currently in the testing phase. And we've already started with one unit, but we want to test this across all flexible learning programs. So for that to be done seamlessly, for it to work, we require that all flexible learning programs that are currently active, please ensure that you fix your gradebooks, sort out your gradebooks, make sure there are categories for grade items. There are appropriate weightings for each of those grade items, and they always add up to 100 at the end. So once that is sorted out, we will inform you. Once we do the necessary testing and we ensure that the integration is successful and grades are able to sync across from Moodle to VUP, then we will inform all academic staff. This is the practice now we will follow. This is what we will be doing. So we're starting again with the Madang campus. We're modeling everything in Madang campus, and we'll move across to Port Moresby, and then eventually the other two campuses. So that's in terms of what is happening at the moment with flexible learning and VUP integration. So we're trying to, again, the same practice that's been done in full-time, trying to apply the same process across to flexible learning. Okay, moving on to the second point, delivery modes, online learning, sorry. You will recall that sometime in April, I did a similar presentation and I talked about online learning. And these are the 6 focus areas that we've been working towards. And if you recall from my last presentation, I talked about faculty readiness. So this afternoon, I'm going to talk about course delivery options. Course delivery options and what institutional infrastructure has, how institutional infrastructure has an impact on the kind of delivery options that's available to us. So before that, let me give you a bit of context on where things are at the moment. These are the 4 different types of learning delivery modes that we are already using. Fully digital, classroom with technology enhanced learning, blended or hybrid, and a new method called HiFlex. I'll explain what HiFlex is, but let's first of all look at fully digital. Now, there are only at least two units in one program that are already fully digital. What that means is the course is delivered fully online. It's entirely online, and it includes a combination of certain things. You will find these 2 terminologies always in any learning delivery mode: synchronous, asynchronous, real-time, or not happening at the same time. So synchronous in fully digital learning delivery, you as a learning deliverer have to ensure that there is some form of synchronous classes happening. So it could be virtual classrooms like through MS Teams or through Zoom meetings. There's also a bit of asynchronous learning happening, and mostly this is learning activities that are available on Moodle. So both learning activities complement each other, the virtual classroom as well as the activities on Moodle. And this is usually done through cohort-based learning. So this is already happening. There's only one, as I said earlier on, 1 or 2 units who are already doing fully online. And in this type of learning delivery, this is where the challenge is. learner support. Okay. Learner support is one of those things that before you even begin, you have to carefully consider how you are able to support your learners so that they can begin the course and successfully end the course from start right through the end. How you're able to scaffold the learning from start through to the end. The second method is classroom with technology enhanced learning. And this is what we all are doing. Okay, so we all doing this very well to a certain degree with some improvements that need to be done. But you can see it's just basically a combination of traditional classroom style teaching as well as the use of technology to enhance the learning delivery. And there's always instructor involved, or teacher lecturer involved in here. Again, you find synchronous is happening in this kind of learning delivery. There has to be a learning delivered with everyone present physically in the same classroom. So delivered face to face. That's what's F2F, or what's F2F means, allowing immediate interaction and engagement between the teacher and the students. And we have students being given laptops. They have access to different tools and apps that they are able to use to enhance their learning, both on Moodle or on the devices that they are using. So this is what we are doing at the moment. The first one, only a very few, 1 or 2 units, fully digital, fully online. Classroom with TEL, everyone is doing this, classroom with TEL. Now, what about the third approach? With the third approach, that's also what we are practicing, but a bit of mix. Now, there's always this confusion about hybrid. A lot of people tend to think that we have to be clear on what role the classroom plays, what role Moodle plays. We can't replace one for the other. So what am I saying here? You don't expect the students, you put stuff on the Moodle and expect the students that that's what they will do. That's a replacement for physical classroom experience. No, it's supposed to complement the physical classroom experience. So you don't replace one for the other. So you have to identify those roles. Where you do that, it's in your study guide, in your unit outline. You clearly specify we will have 2 hours or 4 hours contact period. During this time, there'll be lectures delivered. There'll be asynchronous activities happening on Moodle where you're required to. So you make those things clear. The role where Moodle plays and the role your in-classroom experience plays. So that's where flipped classroom comes in. And digital learning is still at the core of this. So the learning management system kind of enhances the interaction between the learner and the teacher in this experience. So that's the context where we are at the moment, those first 3. Now, moving into HyFlex, where are we taking this now? Where do we see online learning going? Now, you will notice that every conversation we've had, I reiterate this all the time, that self-paced learning is quite difficult. For us at the moment, for us to upload or front-load some of the work, especially in terms of developing all the learning resources, there are different people involved in this kind of activity. Subject matter experts, that's you, learning designers, instructional designers, video recorders, different people involved. Technicians who are also involved, learning designers involved to develop everything. And that takes a lot of time and effort. And to be honest, we have quite a long way to go yet in that approach. Now, what's an alternative approach? That's where HyFlex comes in. HyFlex is a terminology taken from 2 words: hybrid learning, which we are doing very well, and flexible. So I'll explain where the flexibility in this comes in, but this includes 2 aspects. Synchronous options, there's face-to-face classes happening in class, where students are physically present inside the class. There's also a virtual classroom, where students have joined via Zoom or via MS Teams or whatever platform you are using. They join through that, and they are also participating in the class. So you can see that there are 2 learning modes there, 2 delivery modes: in-class experience face-to-face, as well as the online virtual remote participation happening. Now, for that to happen, you require a proper room setup. For you to have this to be done, you need a proper room setup. The room must be equipped with web conferencing technology, lecture capture systems for it to support that kind of environment. At the moment, you can't. We can't do that. It's difficult to carry microphones, cameras, everything around with you, like what I just did this afternoon, carrying all this stuff here. And now I need to set this up. Imagine you have to do that in every single class you attend. So it's difficult. It can be confusing at times too. So where does the flexibility come in this type of environment then? Your learners have an option. They either come to Madang campus or fly to Port Moresby campus or wherever the program is being delivered, and they participate in a face-to-face synchronous session, or they can join via Zoom and participate online. So now you're giving them that flexibility of learning modalities. You choose. Do you want to come to Madang and do the class face-to-face, or do you want to be on Zoom? Now, what's the difference here? They all do the same learning activities. They all take the same learning activities, whether it's face-to-face or online. The only difference here is that the synchronous aspect of it. Either it's face-to-face in class or it's in a virtual classroom. But they have to be required to meet a certain number of hours of activities in order for them to successfully complete the program. So that's where we want to move. That's the direction we want to move. And that's beginning with the flexible learning programs. And having said that, you've seen this already. I presented this some time back. At the moment, that's the only lecture capture we have in Madang campus, and it's in room 6. And everyone cannot use it. So this is where I'm bringing this over to the deans and the heads of departments. Can you make this part of your plans, your budgeting, that at least one faculty to have one of your classrooms installed with these cameras? There's only 2 cameras, one at the back, one in front. The one in front is for the students who are in class, so that whoever is joining virtually has an opportunity to interact, because that social learning interaction needs to be also there for them to participate in a classroom environment. And then you have the camera at the back that's able to track the teacher up in front. So whenever the teacher moves across the class, it's able to track them. And then you have a ceiling microphone. And there's a video panel on the side. So you're able to go and change, or you just come plug your HDMI. At the moment, that's the setup we have. It's not perfect, but it gives us the opportunity to learn about these things and try to improve. So the next classrooms that we have this setup, they'll be even better than the current room 6. So you see where this is going? That's where we need to be. And that's the mode of learning that we need to adopt now for us to have a chance at meeting the market need that's out there. So institutional infrastructure. Now you know that these are the 4 different types of course delivery options that we have, and HiFlex is the mode we need to go to. What do we need? We need the institutional infrastructure. For this, you do not need to do any major changes to your pedagogical style and approach. You're already doing the teaching, same classroom. All we need to do is have the classroom with the necessary equipment that's fixed. No need to set it up every time there's a class. It's fixed in the classroom. Whenever you have classes that need to use that, you allocate or you schedule a timetable to use the classroom. So at the moment, we can't support everyone with only one classroom. We've observed this. Even recording videos is time consuming. Pre-recording of videos. You probably experienced this yourself. Pre-recording of videos, uploading the lectures. It takes a lot of the time away from you actually preparing to deliver the content. A lot of technical aspects involved in all of that. So this, I believe, is the way forward for us to deliver online courses using HiFlex mode. So HiFlex is combination, hybrid and flexible. So that's where we are. And I'm handing it back to the departments, the faculties. If you can take this on board, if we can have at least one room by next year, we have every faculty has at least one room. How you use the room, that's up to you. All we will do is set up the room for you. We procure the equipment, set up the room for you, do a bit of training how you will use the room, and then you can carry on with the use of the facility. And it will come under your care. Any questions on that or any? That's basically what I wanted to talk about this afternoon.